Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So if you've been following my video series on that hot tub cover repair that I had done a few years ago, you know that I've been having a few issues and challenges with it, and that ultimately it was time for a replacement. Well guys, the replacement's sitting right here behind me. So in today's video, we're actually going to be doing an unboxing and a review of a brand new closed cell foam hot tub cover, and I've got high expectations for this one. So let's get into it. So if you've been following the channel for some time, you'll know that the second video that I made that actually went really big was my video in terms of how to repair a heavier waterlogged hot tub cover. So basically what happens over time, folks, is that cover, the vapor barrier that protects the foam core insert, breaks down. And when it breaks down, it starts to absorb that water and moisture, gets really heavy. If you've looked in the comments of that video, I've said it for years. One of the big things that would help that is a closed cell foam hot tub cover, and that's what kind of led me on my search to find the Cover Brothers. So I had reached out to them, and a gentleman by the name of George got back to me right away, and yeah, he let me know that their covers were actually closed cell foam, and as a matter of fact, they actually hold up a heck of a lot better to that long-term wear and tear. With an open cell foam hot tub cover, think of it almost like a kernel of popcorn, right? It's kind of open and porous. A closed cell foam cover, on the other hand, almost like a honeycomb that's sealed, makes it a heck of a lot harder for the water to be able to penetrate into the cover itself, which ideally means that that vapor barrier combined with the closed cell foam should help it to repel that moisture and getting waterlogged a heck of a lot better. All right, so let's go ahead and get the box open and let's see what we got. Yeah. All right, and there we have it, guys. Here's the new cover. So what I'll do is I'll punch in a little bit closer and we can take a look and start getting into the details about this guy here. Okay, so it's a good idea if you get one of these things, have somebody help you get it out of the packaging, okay? You can manage on your own, but it's pretty unruly, as you can see. Okay, let's dig into the details here. So first of all, this is a 5'3" cover, meaning that it tapers from 5 inches down to 3 inches. Now they call this a walk-on cover, but trust me, after the past couple of years, I'm not walking on any cover. So the reason I opted to go with a 5'3", obviously here's because of our climate, okay? Very similar to the cover that I currently had on the hot tub. That 5'3" cover is really thick, and that's gonna give you really good insulating properties. Again, we get down to minus 35, minus 45 in the wintertime, just those absolutely nuts temperatures. So having a nice thick cover like this with really good insulating properties is gonna keep the energy cost low in my tub. Also, it's gonna help with things like snow loading. If we do get a good dump of snow, I know that there's enough material in this cover that it shouldn't collapse on me. Okay. Now on that same note, if you lived in a really warm climate, having that really thick cover, I think also could be a benefit to you, because you're also going to be able to retain more of that heat into your spa as well, and it's going to save you a little bit more on the energy cost here. So the next big thing for me was making sure that I had a good thick vapor barrier in the cover. If you watch that video of how I repaired my hot tub cover, that was my point of failure, was that vapor barrier finally had broken down on me. So with this one, even though it's closed cell foam, I want to give this thing the most bang for its buck to try to survive the longest. So I actually opted for the 12 mil vapor barrier, which is pretty much the thickest I was able to get through them. So I'm hoping that combined with that closed cell foam is really going to give me more of that longevity that I'm after. Again, if you saw the video that I did on the 3-year update on my cover here, which again held up pretty darn well, all things considered, but aesthetically, this one looks way better than my old one. You would know that it was being able to take those cores out, remove the broken down vapor barrier, drying them out, and then rewrapping them that got me to where I was today and helped that cover to survive as long as it did. So again, having a thicker vapor barrier in here, always helpful. Now, something that you're going to notice with this cover here as well is this liner, okay? This isn't your run-of-the-mill standard interior section for a hot tub. This is actually a reflective liner, and the intention behind this stuff is that it's going to be able to bounce back or radiate more of that heat into your spa. Again, just helping to trim down on your energy savings. This here looks to be a really nice upgrade, and I'm really interested to see how well that this is going to hold up for me over time. So another really key area that I think is important to having a hot tub that's got a really good insulating property is going to be the center seal, okay? My old cover just had a rubber seam down the middle, and I mean, for the most part that worked, but this thing, oh, this thing's a beefy boy. This has got an entire seal down the middle, super, super thick, that's also wrapped in that reflective vapor material. Here, I'll punch you in for a closer look. I think that's going to do a fantastic job being able to seal those two cores together, and again, really helping to drive down or mitigate that heat loss that you're going to end up seeing in the wintertime when it's really cold. And just to give you a better look, you know, here's the seal on my old tub. Again, I mean, it was effective, it got the job done, but man, what a difference. This one just has these little pillow blocks in the end, and then that rubber gasket, whereas that fella, wow, that super, super meaty seal in the middle. All right, so another thing you're going to notice about this particular cover here is the actual material that the cover itself is made out of. Now, my old cover, I think a lot of covers out there are made of that marine grade vinyl. And again, that stuff is pretty good for the most part. This one is made of a completely different creature altogether. It's their Atlantis material, okay? So this material is touted to be about 25% lighter than marine grade vinyl, but they bake the extra secret sauce into this one. There's extra UV and mildew inhibitors put into this, this particular material here, which I'm hoping is going to help extend that life of the cover. If you noticed on the video that I did for my cover, especially the repairs that I did, over time you would see how badly that cover broke down just from the elements. These ones promise to be a heck of a lot better. But when it comes to care and use, one thing you got to keep in mind is they explicitly say with this particular material in the wintertime, use a brush to clean it off, okay? You don't use a shovel on a material like this. Because at first glance when you feel it, you're like, maybe it's not quite as durable as that marine grade vinyl. I would possibly tend to agree in that regard, and time's going to tell how well this one holds up, but in terms of being able to stand up to the sun and the conditions in the environment and whatnot, I think this one actually is going to stand a much better chance than the old one did. Again, time will tell. But speaking of the material, let's take a look at the stitching on this one here. I actually opted for the triple stitching on the seam. Again, it's supposed to be just a heck of a lot more durable in the long run here. So we'll see how this holds up. I've got a cover lifter that actually gets inserted into this pocket here. So again, we're gonna see how well this holds up over the long run. I've got pretty high hopes for this one. Okay, so in terms of your handles here, these actually do seem pretty robust, which is really nice. My previous cover, the handles were just that typical marine grade vinyl that was stitched in here. This seems to be a lot more durable. Again, time will tell once we really get into it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, folks, let's pull off the old cover, let's slip the new one in place, and then I can give you my final thoughts. All right, let's get this thing open. So just to give you an overall look at the fit and the construction here, again, I am very impressed with this thing overall. It blows my mind. This fabric is very different than what I'm used to having on a hot tub cover. One thing that I'm just a little curious about is how that center seam is sewn here. You know, I can see why they say make sure that you're using a brush versus a shovel, because you definitely don't want to catch that. Again, it is a bit more of a robust or reinforced seam. Again, time's going to tell to see how well that's going to hold up for us. So all in all, I've got really high hopes for this hot tub cover here. Again, the fact that it's that 5'3" closed cell foam, that's huge. I've been saying it for a long time, that putting closed cell foam in a hot tub cover is a good idea for longevity. That combined with that 12 mil vapor barrier, that ultra reflective heat reflecting coating that they put inside of it here, as well as that Atlantis fabric. Again, I just want to give a huge shout out to George and the rest of the folks at Cover Brothers. I think you guys did a great job on this one. Keep up the awesome work, all right? So folks, if you like the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hitting that like button makes a huge difference for me, and I appreciate you guys to no end. So folks, See you in the next video. Bye for now.